Okay, now let's look at eating the flower and adding a score. Go into Scratch. Oh. So far everything we've done has been programming inside the unicorn because we have been changing the behavior of the unicorn. Now what I want this flower over here. So I click on the flower. I want it to have a behavior, and its behavior is when the unicorn touches it, it gets eaten, it vanishes. So I need to go inside the flower because the action is the flower's doing something, not the unicorn. From a programming point of view, it's being eaten so it vanishes. Now, to do this, I need to trigger an event so that it can start listening out and saying, okay, the game is running. So I'm going to use the same event to tell the flower that the game is running as I did to tell the unicorn, which is the green flag, and I'm then going to have a forever loop. Okay. So off I go, back onto my flower, go to events, and it's the same thing saying, okay, now we're going to start this game from rocking and rolling. Off it goes. I'm going to put this in a control of a forever, so it's always going to keep asking the question. Now, this is where we can take that touching sprite. Because there is only one unicorn, I can make my life a lot easier by saying if the flower is touching the unicorn. I'm going to have more than one flower, but I'm only going to have one unicorn. So I can get away with using touching sprite 1 or whatever you've called it. If you've called it unicorn, that's fine. And that will be an if question. So there's my if, and there's my chopped up diamond, which is the question. So if, and remember we are inside the flower here. That's quite important, not inside the unicorn. So we're now going to say if the flower is touching sprite 1, which is our unicorn, and it pops. Then do something. And, well, the first thing I want it to do is vanish. So I'm going to go to looks, and I'm going to go hide. It's now hidden. Let's test that. Run the game. Send my unicorn over there. And pop, and it vanishes. Nice and easy. Okay, that's the first part. The second part is we want to add a score. Now, I could put the score inside the flower, but I'm going to keep it inside the unicorn. So I go back to my unicorn. I'm going to then make a new variable. This is going to be a global variable because there is only one score for the whole game, so it's for all sprites, not for this sprite only, and that is will be score. Okay, and notice it's appeared there. I don't actually need to see these two anymore, so I'm going to untick them. Oops, untick them. There you go, so we just have the score showing. Okay, again with this I need to reset the score. So in my setup phase, before the forever loop, I'm going to set score to 0, so that when you first click it, it's going to set our score to 0, and then we shall see what we shall see. Okay, so we're keeping the score in there. Now, back into my flower, and if it's eaten it, then I am going to go to there, and it's the same equation we've used before. Score will become equal to score plus 1. Drop that in. There we go. Set score to score plus 1. I want to test this now, and I press the green arrow, and we have a problem. My flower is not there anymore. Now, in the same way that we had to set things up for the unicorn, like the variables, inside my flower I also have to set up its first behavior. Maybe its main behavior is hide, so before it does anything else I'm going back to looks and I'm going to have a show, and this has to be above the forever loop, otherwise it's always going to just show. If I run this now, you see as soon as it ran once, there came the flower, I can now move down and eat the flower. Now the flower is hidden, it's no longer touching the sprite, and there you have it. Our flower is programmed. It's that simple. Now the really great thing is that now I've done that, I can right click on my flower, I can just start and stop again, just have it, and I can duplicate, and I can have more than one flower. I can pop them around the place. Yeah. Oops, duplicate that. There we go. 3 flowers. And this code is inside each of the 3 flowers now. So each of them will act independently. So if I test it, there goes the first flower. There goes the second flower. Come on, unicorn. And there goes the third flower. Nice and simple. And if you look up in the corner here now, you can see scores 3. Right, so what I'd like you to do is go into your flower, not into the unicorn. Inside the flower, I'd like you to add that code. Don't forget to go into your sprite and to have a set score to 0. If you don't put that in, then every time you hit the green flag, the score just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay. Once you've done that and you've tested it, save, and then you can make a few more flowers, duplicate your flowers around, test that, and if that's all good, then you can save that as well. Away you go.